My name is Mary Atwood. I am a fine art photographer. I've been involved in photography my entire life. My father was a military photographer, so I grew up with a camera in hand. The subject matter that is included in the collection here at the library is actually from a group of works that I did. The entire collection was called First Coast Reflections, and it is historical sites within a 150-mile radius of Jacksonville, Florida. And what I did was I toured each location with a historian and looked for some sort of small, intimate vignette in an interior that would tell the story of who was there and why it was significant. When I was asked to contribute to the collection here at the library, I gave considerable thought to what I wanted to donate, and I decided that 4 pieces from the First Coast Reflections project were absolutely appropriate. I chose 2 from the very first location that I photographed, and so the 2 that are from the Dudley Farms, which are Comfort and Protection, those are 2 of the very first images from the collection. The other 2 that I selected both have to do with writers. One is an image from Marjorie Kinnan Rawlings' bedroom. When I toured there, the historian took me into her bedroom and we were talking about her and how she came to live in Florida. And she said actually it was in this room that she wrote her first book, her first novel, South Moon Under, while she was recovering from malaria. And I'm like, that captures everything I need right there. And so that is my favorite image from there. The other piece that I donated is called Letters Home, and it was taken at the Prince Murat House in St. Augustine, Florida. He was the nephew of Napoleon, and he was actually a crown prince in Naples, and his own father was executed by his people. And so they went into exile in Austria, and he was still young. He was under 21. He kept wanting to immigrate to the U.S., and they kept saying, no, you're not old enough. As soon as he turned 21, he immigrated to the U.S. and lived for a short time in St. Augustine. And I couldn't help but think about what it was like for him to be a crown prince in Europe, to live like royalty, and then to come here and live in this very small house in St. Augustine, which at that time, you know, in the early 1800s, it must have been such a cultural shock. And so the picture of the writing desk with the quill pen, I just had it in my mind of the letters that he would be writing back to Europe about what he was experiencing here. My subject matters range the gamut. I get bored easily, so I tend to jump around. I do a lot of nature photography. I also do a lot of manipulated images. I refer to those as the Altered Visions collection. I do travel photography, especially in France, because any excuse to go to France is a good one. The opportunity to travel is always good for a photographer. It's good to get outside of your familiar surroundings, your comfort zone, so to speak. And travel, especially in Europe, is important to me. I've been to London twice now and found some amazing things to photograph there. I've been to Paris 4 times and love Paris. It's the most photogenic city on the planet. I am convinced of it. But traveling definitely inspires me to reach out and do some different sort of work. Well, I did commercial photography when I was younger, but as my child grew up, I switched careers, worked with the school system during his school years, and after he left home, I had that empty nest thing going, and so I started thinking about, what do I really want to do now? What do I, not what do I have to do, what do I want to do? And I decided fine art photography was where I needed to go, and it was a brilliant decision.